Welcome to the A Critical Podcast with Andy and Andrew, and we're here to talk about some bullshit going on in Australia yet again. How you going, Andrew?
That was loud. That was very loud.
Boo-hoo. What are we talking about this week?
What's going on in Queensland?
Queenslanders.
Queenslanders. I feel like we should try to talk about a different state each week, at least once. Probably not talk about Tasmania.
New South Wales.
Probably not Tasmania because nothing happens in
I'll
Tasmania.
never talk about New South Wales.
Queensland passes hate symbol laws.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Wait. Am I going to be disgusted in some of the hate symbols, or are they just like general, like nail on the head?
Well, pretty much Nazis and Islamic State and stuff like that, like terrorists.
Sick. Did they? Yeah.
So new laws will introduce penalties of up to 6 months jail time for anybody caught publicly displaying a hate symbol.
Nice.
Nazi and Islamic hate signs are expected to be included.
Nice. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Redditors, because I can't generally get most public opinion without looking at Reddit.
Reddit's gross.
Yeah, Reddit comments. I know some are obvious, but who defines and decides what hate symbol is? What's a defining feature?
Oh my goodness. There's people that are saying the Nazi symbol was a Hindu peace symbol.
Here's one. Keeping Nazi memorabilia isn't always an act of racism. I know collectors who have connections and that don't to the... Okay, this is a direct quote. That don't to the World War that took place and find it interesting to keep.
No.
No. There's no reason to.
What? No. So here's the thing.
But also, like,
they're misinterpreting the law. The law is you can't publicly display it.
Yeah.
If you want to keep it in your own house, they're not kicking down the door.
There was a commenter that literally said the exact same thing to the effect of, look, weirdos, you can keep whatever you want in the house. You can be racist as you want. You can love Nazis. You can love the Islamic State. You can do whatever you want in your own home. You can't do it outside the house.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
And literally the laws...
Ooh, I can't have swastika.
Oh, I can't have swastika.
I can't have swastika on my arm. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Fucking
But also
idiots.
the laws are exempt from educational purposes. So like for teaching purposes, textbooks,
They
museums.
don't even teach that shit. Oh, maybe they do now, but they didn't when we were kids. They didn't teach that shit in school.
What, Nazis?
No, none of my classes ever covered it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't take modern history.
No, I did all the sciences.
You did all
like
the
a good
science.
boy.
I did the modern histories and the ancient history.
Social studies.
Oh, you did the sciences. What science are you doing now? You're on a political podcast.
I do biology every day. I look after grass. Thank you very much.
I look after grass. Me. I like grass. Me.
Brum brum.
In small news.
You.
In small news, the Toyota Camry hybrid orders are paused in Australia indefinitely as wait times hit 2 years
For the hybrid Toyota Camry.
for the hybrid Toyota Camry,
Fucking
the
hell.
most in-demand car in Australia.
You know who's in demand? Uber drivers.
Uber drivers, taxis. Who the fuck doesn't use Toyota Camry hybrid? What
I
company? Government cars,
Gabby cars, yeah.
business cars. Everybody uses a Toyota hybrid Camry. Because
My
electric
dad has
cars aren't available.
My dad has the Corolla hybrid.
Hmm.
Nice little car. But like the thing is like there's not a lot of options for hybrids.
No, there's not.
And there's not a lot of affordable options for electric cars.
No. Because, like, what? A company's going to spend $80,000 a pop on, like, an electric car?
Mm-mm.
No.
I mean, it's perfect for a company car because, like, you don't have to worry about fuel. You can recharge at your work. You know, like, you can set it up. And, like, especially a lot of work cars in the city and stuff, they only drive around the city.
Yeah.
And, like, I've said it before, like, multiple times, like, people are like, they'll never take my ute. An electric car will never go all the way around Australia. It's like, well, yeah, it can, but, it's a longer process because you have to wait for charge times and shit like that. But, like, no one's trying to get rid of your ute. No one's trying to get rid of your petrol car.
No.
What they're trying to do is, if it's convenient for you and you can, to get an electric vehicle, like, if you're just driving around town, electric vehicle's perfect because... you might only have to charge it once every 2 days.
Exactly.
Depending on how much driving you're doing, especially in the city. Like, fuck me, you might only drive on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like that's the purpose. Is they're trying to bring down the amount of petrol cars that people use for like just if you drive 15 minutes to work, that's lucky. So if you drive 30 minutes to work, 30 minutes to home, electric car's fine.
Yeah.
And like what they're saying, like is like maybe if your missus or your husband does the little drive, right? They get an electric car. But if you want your big ute, your big full drive, whatever, go fucking head your second car.
Like 100% people aren't going to be able to go across Australia, do all their big camping trips
In electric cars. Not at
in
the
electric
moment.
cars. Nobody, like, they're not going to be able to
But
do
no
that.
one's expecting that. Everyone,
But nobody is. No.
the targets are for people who have a little runaround
Yeah.
to have an electric as their little runaround, and their long trips, towing trailer, towing caravan, all that is the aim is for that to be your petrol car. It's not
Exactly.
like eventually they want to be net zero, but we don't have the technology yet.
No. Because most of the, and like it is aimed at inner city people because most of the inner city people, they don't travel far. Like
No.
if you go from Brisbane, if you live in Brisbane, you might go up to Noosa. You might go down to the Gold Coast. You might, probably not. You might go out to Toowoomba.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, people used to say, "Oh, the drive to Toowoomba's like so far." I'm like, "What?" Because like I used to go see my grandparents every fucking
Dude,
weekend.
that was like going to Tasmania. Okay, because I like to talk to people.
Yeah.
Talking around people in Tasmania, like we were staying in Launceston, and it's only about like we're going to Smithton. It's about 2-3 hours, and like we're talking to people at the pub and stuff like that, and we're like, oh yeah, this is where we're staying at the moment. And they're like, oh, that's really far to take in a day. I was like, how often do you, like, it's not that bad. They're like, no, that's like usually we take a break. Like where?
What, 2-3 hours?
Yeah, they like, oh, we'll drive for an hour and then maybe like stop off somewhere. You drive for an hour and stop off somewhere. You move up to Queensland, driving an hour is just like, oh, this is my everyday.
I'm going to work.
I'm going to work. Like they just don't drive in Tasmania.
Oh yeah, like if I want to go to the coast, 'cause I hate the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
It's I go to the sunny coast, so it takes me 2.5 hours, especially with my son now. It takes me a while to get out there, and then usually I catch the traffic on the way home.
Yeah.
But like, that's everyone goes, just go to Goldie, she's better. It's like, yeah, okay. I'd rather go hang out with rich old people than fucking needle fucking bikies and shit.
You know why I go to the Gold Coast?
Why?
Crackheads make it cheaper.
I don't like crackheads. That's an acritical stance. No to crackheads.
I say maybe.
No.
I say maybe.
No.
I say maybe.
Anyways, yeah. So like electric vehicles, right? They're getting better. The charging's getting better. The issues with them is like recycling the batteries. When they're dead, they're dead.
Yeah.
All that shit. But like the same goes for cars. Like a lot of cars just end up going to rust.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And like there's fucking junkyards everywhere.
Actually, if you think about it, I wonder how many of these Toyota Camry hybrids are like government order cars.
I wonder, yeah.
Because like like the federal, state, all those governments get like government cars to drive around,
Yeah.
and often it is like the hybrids. Like,
But like, why
Excuse
would
me.
you wait 2 years? I guess because it's the best hybrid on the market. But like, if I was another car manufacturer, I'd be fucking jumping.
well, there was that man.
I'd be going so hard. I'd be like, we need a hybrid now for Australia.
Yeah. There was literally a man that had 1 million kilometers on his like 91 Camry,
Toyotas don't die.
and he had it for fucking years.
The old ones don't die. Sorry, not the new ones. The new
Yeah.
ones, I don't know.
All right. In other small news, thousands of dairy workers are preparing to strike.
Nice.
Plans to strike across 14 strike sites in Victoria.
Power to the people.
Hmm?
Power to the people.
Power to the fucking
Get
people.
that bag.
There was actually a couple strikes around Australia, actually.
Well, like
There's a couple strikes going on, and it's like...
the strike that annoyed me the most that got zero news coverage was the Woolworths coal strike.
Yeah, right?
So the Woolies coal strike was for 2 hours on a Saturday morning, and here's what the ABC said. It was like one segment, they never repeated it. They said, if you're planning on going to Woolies or Coles tomorrow, they won't be open between these 2 hours because the workers are striking for better pay and better conditions. Now, on to other news, and I was like, wait, hang on. There's no interview with anyone.
No.
There's no...
No.
Nothing.
They don't want to bring attention to it.
They don't want to bring attention to it. No one wanted to talk about it. And like, we didn't talk about it because we missed it because we had a couple weeks off and
Well, it's
The Voice and everything like that.
yeah.
But like
yeah, we'll talk about that eventually.
that's a big thing that like Coles and Woolies workers joined together. Their union was strong, and they were like, "We're having an actual strike," and they did an actual strike, and nothing happened because no one
Nothing
cared.
happened. Nothing happened, and I don't think it did anything because they were just like, because the fact of it is, obviously, to commit to industrial action, you need to go do Fair Work. You need to apply through Fair Work and ask them what level of thing you're going to do.
Yeah,
So Fair Work has obviously gone back to them and said you can have 2 hours on a Saturday.
yeah,
And it's
But
kind of
like-
like, what is that to anybody?
yeah, because it's an essential service. You can't stop.
But also at the same time, it's an essential service, so you should be paying your staff more.
Like these guys got us through COVID.
Yeah.
Like not to bring COVID back up, but like they got us through COVID.
It hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped.
Well, you can't buy a RATS test anywhere anymore.
Well, apparently. It's like,
I got the flu last week, and everyone's like, "Oh, did you take a COVID test?" I was like, "I can't find one." I went to the chemist, and they were like, "Sorry, we're sold out. We did 2 for 1."
it's
I was like,
nothing.
"Why would you do 2 for 1?" They're like, "Oh, we're clearing stock." It's like, what?
It's apparently not around anymore, but like you
Yeah.
still get people sick.
Yeah,
People can still
and
get
like
sick.
there's
you
still
just
the
don't know.
like yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, people are like, "Do you have COVID?" It's like, I don't fucking know. I got the flu. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't have to wear a mask.
I can't take time off.
Yeah, no, I'd take time off. No. But yeah, it really frustrated me that no one covered that. Like the Australian media covers the bloody American Actors Guild strike more.
Well, you know why they cover this dairy strike? It's
No
because
more
there's
milk.
literally another story that said, "Oh, the price of milk's going to go up
Yeah, the price
because
of
of
milk.
this strike."
Yeah, the price of milk's going to go up. It's like people saying that the price of fuel's going to go up because of the war in the Middle East. It's like, okay, well, we don't get fuel from Israel or Palestine.
But
so
it
what the
hasn't
fuck?
stopped in however many fucking years anyway.
Yeah,
So it's
like last week I said, the supply's up, the demand's the same. How can you justify bringing it up? Okay, here's the thing, right? Every other petrol station, they're going up and up and up and up and up and up.
Yep.
Like unleaded, $2.30, right? Costco's dropped it. It's down to $1.85.
yeah.
They went up to $1.99 and they've come back down.
Mm.
So someone somewhere, like they can't justify those prices because people pay $65 a year.
Yeah.
So like somewhere along the line, one fuel company is, and the other, like, is it suppliers? Is it where they're getting it? Because I'm pretty sure it all comes in on the same fucking boats.
I think it just depends on the CEO.
Yeah. I mean, the Costco CEO, like, he's still a capitalist, but at least he has some values.
Some values. It's like some old school boomer that's like, "Hey, I will charge people what it's worth, not because I want to make a bunch of money."
Well, I don't know. Some things in Costco are still super expensive, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
other things, you're like, oh, damn.
Well, maybe it's just because it's expensive, just because we also live in Australia.
Yeah. But also, like, yeah, they say, anytime there's any action or anything, the media's first response and corporate's first response is,
This will cost more.
this will make things cost more.
This
Don't do it.
Will cost more.
And instead of you know, and they try and pit the working class against each other. They say, look at these slackers
Look at these
saying they
slackers.
deserve more money. And it's like, did you know most dairy farmers make a negative every year?
Yeah.
They pay themselves 90 cents an hour or some shit. Like it.
So basically, the offer for the dairy workers was 10% over 3 years, a 10% pay rise over 3 years. But obviously, that's 10% over 3 years, and like they're like, inflation
Inflation's
currently
8%.
it's sitting at 7%.
7.3, I think it was.
7% is the average for the year, but and
Yeah.
they're like, we don't know what it's going to be like for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So
You
we
can't
will,
justify
we
that
will
it's gonna
be
go down.
only at a 3% pay rise, not even because obviously it's split over 3 years.
Mm.
We will only be on a like, what's that, 3.5% pay rise each year.
Yeah. It's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's disgusting. And like the thing is everyone goes, oh yeah, but the price of milk will go up. And it's like, no, I don't think you understand how much profit
And it's like, or
Woolworths and Coles are making.
maybe the CEO of the dairy company doesn't make another $1 million.
Yeah, like here's the thing is like companies used to absorb costs. So like if they made like cheese, milk, butter, right?
Yeah.
You can charge more. An everyday item is milk.
Yeah.
Arguably every day is milk.
Yeah.
Butter and cheese are like regular items.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you charge less for your milk, which is an everyday item that people are going to buy consistently.
Yeah.
And you charge a little bit more on your milk and your butter and cheese, you absorb those milk costs.
Yeah.
Right. So if you absorb those manufacturing costs of other things into other items, your top selling items, you can still turn a profit
Yeah.
without fucking the customer and the supplier.
Yeah.
But what companies are doing now is they're going, why are we absorbing any of these costs?
Why don't we just
Why don't we just charge more
charge it
and make a profit on everything?
And
It's like Woolworths and Coles. It probably costs them dick all to manufacture some things, right? Especially home brand stuff.
it costs cents.
Yeah. So if you make a major profit on your home brand stuff,
Yeah.
then you can justify bringing costs down of other things.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, if we pay our workers more, we'll have to charge more. It's like, no, look at your profits. You're making profits hand over fist. Cut your profits back. And no capitalist business wants to do that.
No capitalist, because it's all share markets and investors.
Yeah, and it's like, oh,
I should get extra bonuses this year.
What are the investors going to think if I don't make it $3 billion? It's like if the investors had any sense.
If they have any sense of what the actual
it's
reality of a life is, it's not all profits.
It's like, here's the thing, right? Capitalism wants a workforce. They want a workforce to work as soon as they can and die working, right?
Yep.
So why not increase the lifespan of your workers? Why not include some health things in your workplace? Like, I know America does it because they don't have public health.
Yeah.
But like, why don't you pay for, like, say, example, Woolworths? Why doesn't Woolworths pay for all of their staff to have orthopedic shoes?
Yeah, right.
Right? Why don't you supply shoes?
You're standing up all day. Why
because
not?
they're standing up all day. Because, that 50-year-old who's working the cashier, maybe they'd work another 2 years if their feet weren't killing them.
Maybe it's
it's
why companies like Aldi
sit.
They sit.
They don't do bagging because they don't have to lift anything.
No.
They don't have to hurt their backs, and like arguably sitting is bad as well. But like the thing is like, why don't you pay your staff an extra $10 an hour, right? That's an exorbitant amount compared to what they get paid now.
Yeah. Well,
But if your staff are happy, they're going to stay.
Can you imagine the difference $10 an hour would make in someone's life? It's at Woolworths.
Well,
it's
even
working at
$2.50 an hour, like how much $2.50 an hour makes in a difference?
Yeah.
Like if your staff are happy and want to stay,
Yeah.
you save costs on retraining, rehiring, buying new uniforms because that employee that left, yeah, sure, they returned their shirts, but they don't fit the next guy.
No.
She left, she was an extra small. The new guy you hired's a 2XL.
Yep.
So you got to buy new uniforms anyways, right? So why did she leave? Oh, because she wasn't getting paid because Woolies is just an unskilled, unqualified job, right?
It's just a starting job. It's just for uni students and teenagers.
Just for uni students and teenagers. But we want to open during hours of school and
we want to be open during the week when school is in.
Yeah.
And also we want to be open 9 o'clock at night. And we also want people to do overnights to do stocking. So... And we want people to be there at 3 a.m. in the morning to do baking and doing other prep stuff. So, yeah, just teenagers and uni students.
Yeah, and it's just an unskilled job. You're just at Woolworths. Why should you be able to live?
Yeah, right.
But like if someone's happy in their job, they're gonna most likely stay there. Like if you're comfortable and happy, why would you leave?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think corporate Australia has really clocked onto that because I know Scandinavian companies are like that. They're like, if we keep our staff happy, they don't go anywhere. Which means they continue to add profit to the business because it's shown the longer that you're at the business, the more loyalty you have, the more connection you have with the job, the better job you do because you understand the job, And if you're happy there, it's not just an everyday got to grind, get that bread. It's, oh, I'm going to work today. But yeah,
Sarah
it's frustrating.
Lee goes into administration. Dessert company Sarah Lee.
Sarah Lee. I thought it was Dara Lee.
Nope, Sarah Lee.
What's Sarah Lee?
Dara Lee is the licorice company.
They make
Sarah
chocolate.
Lee is the apple pie and like Danishes.
I don't like apple pie, so
Yeah, because you're a fucking
I
weirdo.
don't like cooked apple. It's weird.
Do you not like baked fruit? Is that the thing?
No, I like baked fruit.
I can't remember.
I don't like cooked apple.
I know someone that
eat-
doesn't like baked fruit.
I like other baked fruits.
They don't like berries. They don't like anything.
I love a blueberry pie. I love a blackberry pie. I love all types of pies.
You love your ebony pies.
Yuck. I don't like cooked apple. Apple strudel, apple pie, apple chunks, apple whatever.
Apple chunks.
Yeah, some people just boil it and then they just eat it with like
What?
cinnamon and shit.
No, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's a weird thing.
Some
to
people
do.
cook apple with cinnamon and sugar.
I know
on
you have
it.
boil an apple to make apple pie, but like someone out there is just peeling an apple, cutting it up, boiling it, and then having it with cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah, it's like a lolly or something.
No,
Yes.
no, they shouldn't be doing that.
Let me show you.
Wrap it with pastry, fill it with sugar and cream, and then eat it that way, and then top it
Cooked.
with ice cream like a fucking normal person.
Apple
I bet it's a fucking Swedish. Jesus Christ.
cinnamon.
Have some
No,
normal.
it's Americans.
Have some normal cuisine.
Look, easy cinnamon apples. Cinnamon stewed apple. Look, they just cook apple
That's stupid.
and put cinnamon and
It's
sugar
got the
on
skin on it.
it. Not all of it. This one doesn't. Look, microwave baked apple. You just eat it.
Microwave. Oh, that is an American thing.
I
isn't
used to cook apple for my son when he was a little baby. I'd cook it and mush it up so I didn't have to buy apple
Yeah, he's
paste.
a baby. Who gives a fuck what he thinks? All right, we're going to talk about New Zealand election.
The New Zealand election.
Yeah, ooh, New Zealand. Who cares about them?
Right, we got it. Is that right?
I got
Oh my
I got
god.
a joke for you.
Is it racist?
A little bit. What language do they speak in New Zealand?
Well, they call New Zealand Aotearoa, so they speak Aotearoan.
No. Hebrew.
I was trying to be serious.
It was a joke. What the fuck did you think it was going to be?
I don't know, a racist joke.
It wasn't going to be that racist. Also, I think it's Ki or Tipati Rio or something like that. I can't remember.
Is that their language?
It's one of the native languages, but obviously because
They're
I
like
know
a-
that there is multiple
There's
languages.
like Australia where they have the multiple
Yeah,
indigenous languages. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because
I hope they never lose that because Australia's going to.
well, it's like you have.
Continue.
You remember about France? France doesn't even have one language technically.
Flange.
France.
Flange.
Anyway, New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand election results are in. With the Conservative Party winning the election, having 45 seats, Labour with 17, Greens with 3, and Te Pāti Maori with 4.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. That's not good.
Because
This
what
is,
was it? What was the last prime minister's name? The one that stepped down.
Chris Hipkins.
No, the woman who stepped down.
Jacinda Ardern.
Jacinta Ardern.
Yeah, she was cool.
I liked
Everybody
her.
liked her.
But you know, she's probably like Dan Andrews, where it was just the toll was too much mentally.
Well, a lot of people blame this shift away from Labour during this election based on the fact that she was very left leaning and a lot led the party more left leaning. While when Chris Hipkins got in, obviously with the election approaching, they centralized and tried to.
Oh, and they were punished for it.
Yeah, basically.
I don't understand that though, right? So
Because Te Pāti Maori
So-
gained some seats away from Labour.
that's usually what happens is like
Yeah.
the Greens or the Indigenous parties or the independents, they take that left vote away from the more central left.
Yeah.
But I never understand why someone who like supports the left or is center, right?
Yeah.
They're centrist or they're leftist and the party goes from far left to center. They always go, well, fuck it, I'm going to vote right. It's like,
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you?
Yeah.
What? Huh?
But basically, this election was.
Is it because they see like maybe the centrist voters, they see that left view come to the center and they go, oh, well, if that's the center, I'm going to go over because I'm usually this way from the left.
No, so basically this election was a lot like our referendum that we just had, where a lot of it was filled with misinformation on
Fear-mongering.
the Maori elite.
Oh, like the old...
Oh, the fucking Maori elite.
No.
They're going to take us.
No. It was like that election that Bill Shorten lost, where it was just all this misinformation and lies, like the death tax and all that. No.
Yeah, so it's filled with people like that were like, we need to get rid of the Maori elite, and we need to, like, they want to make it illegal for indigenous languages to exist, basically.
Nice.
No one wants to speak it. They made a big deal about because in New Zealand, basically, they started introducing signs that say, the English, and they also have the indigenous language version.
Nice.
And obviously a bunch of white people didn't like that.
Wow.
Never
crazy.
liked that. Don't piss off white people, apparently, because you can piss off indigenous people.
Because they're
black
minority.
Any minority in the world you can piss off, except white people, because they'll make a big fucking deal about it.
Wait, so people were upset because they had the indigenous names for places?
Even though some places were already called that.
Yeah, they probably got stirred up because Ardern actually, she didn't do it, but she spoke about changing the name of New Zealand to Aotearoa.
Aotearoa. That's what it is.
Well, that's what it is, yeah.
Believe it or not. Hey, wait, this place was called something before?
No. They didn't speak. They didn't have a language. They couldn't name their own home.
Yeah. They couldn't name their own home. We discovered them.
Yeah, discovered. I put my flag in the soil.
I put my flag in the soil, and Australia becomes Australia.
Terra nullius.
Terra nullius. And now,
Yuck. Continue
200 and something years later, the voice failed.
Oh, are we done with New Zealand?
Yeah, we're done with New Zealand. That was it.
Right.
They weren't very interesting.
Nice.
That was pretty much it.
All right. So we talked about the voice a lot leading up to it.
Yeah.
And
called a lot of people racist, and they still don't like to be called racist.
Yeah, and they got their little pat on the head from Jacinda Price saying, "We're sorry, you're not a racist. We're all friends here. You can say the N-word if you want because I'm your black friend." That kind of shit.
Yep. It was so weird.
Peter Dutton has recanted on his promise to bring us back to a referendum.
Did they really think?
He said the people.
Did they really think he would do anything?
He said Australia's spoken, and they don't want anything. The LNP have dropped all topics on treaty, all topics on recognition, all topics on anything. The no vote won, so they're over and they're done talking about it. They did ask Anthony Albanese if he would bring the voice into Parliament, and short and sweet, just to shorten what he said, because he said it in a roundabout government politician way. The people have spoken. Why would I go against it?
Yeah.
Because and like pretty much like what's the point? Because every time Labor or
I think it's like you're fucking dreaming, mate. What the fuck kind of chance do you think I have now?
Yeah, every time Labor or a parliament puts in a voice or a recognition group or anything like that, it gets chucked out by the LNP the next time they're in. Like the last one that was chucked out by John Howard.
Yeah. Kevin
Rudd said sorry. He tried to push legislation through, I think, and it got shot down. So why would Anthony Albanese bother?
But
obviously,
it's like almost like they didn't understand the whole point of the fucking referendum.
60%
once again,
60% of Australians said no. So why would Anthony Albanese try and push something through if they said they don't want a voice? And like the thing is like, yes, Indigenous Australians want a voice. The rest of us want them to have a voice. And one of the arguments was, oh, I don't understand it. Why don't they legislate it first? And it's because if they legislated it, right, it would take forever to get through. Once it got through, you know, who knows if they'd still be in power and be able to have a referendum on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is like people who say, I've had several people say to me, "Oh, I'm not racist. I just didn't know, and I didn't want I didn't want someone else making my decisions for me. And I just said to them, I'm like, well, you let Peter Dutton make the decision for you.
Well, that's like the whole,
and,
like the whole.
And if you didn't understand it, you obviously didn't care and didn't research enough.
The whole
so
hypocrisy
I don't
of that whole thing of, I don't want government to be involved in Indigenous affairs. It's like, well, one, they already are.
Yeah.
I don't want the government to be making decisions on things. Two, they weren't gonna be. Three, now, guess what? That's all you get.
Yeah.
Who else do you think was making the decisions at the end? Like, look, you should think, who was making the decisions about Indigenous affairs beforehand? Is it just a bunch of Indigenous people making the decisions about laws and bills to put into Parliament? No. Who was it? White people.
The government.
In government. That was it. That's all you got. And then you know what? That's all you'll get. That's all you fucking get.
Yeah.
It's almost like, hey.
And the people who voted no who say, yeah, now we can get to closing the gap. It's like, dickhead, this was closing the gap. This was to help close the gap.
Yep.
And I'm disappointed, and I was quite depressed when it came through.
Oh, yeah.
And like my son is part Indigenous. Not like a lot, but he's got Indigenous heritage.
Not a lot. No. It's almost like there's a reason for that.
And like when you go back through the family records, it's kind of a hush-hush and like a frowned upon thing that happened, which is sad. But like he's going to grow up in an Australia that he's going to be ashamed or feel...
Or he's going to grow up and in 20 years' time, when there's another referendum to enshrine a voice to Parliament, and you know what's going to happen? It's going to go, why didn't we pass this before?
Well, no, because generally referendums on things don't happen again.
Really? So what? This will never happen again, basically?
I don't think they'll bring it to referendum again because the next government that says they want to bring it to referendum will say, well, 20 years ago it didn't get through.
So fucking stupid. So basically...
Well, have we ever had a repeat of a referendum that we've had before?
Well, kind of. We had this so the 1999 referendum was basically to acknowledge Indigenous Australians existing before European settlement.
Did that go through?
No, it didn't, because people are fucking racist.
The interviews they did with people on the street were just reminded me of the interviews they did back when they were talking about getting rid of the White Australia policy.
Yeah,
it was just the same kind of sentiments. It's like, oh, I like them, but I don't think this is their world. This is everyone's, and all that equality bullshit. And it's like you don't. Yeah. It's not equal. It's not equality of outcome. It's equality of opportunity that you want. So equality of outcome is what people think when someone says equality. So like, equality of outcome is we do the same thing, and we get the same result.
Yeah,
but what equality really is equality of opportunity. So we have the opportunity to do the same thing, but we might have different outcomes.
Yeah.
So equality of opportunity is what we want for everyone in the world, really. Yeah. It's like you have the equal opportunity to have a good home life, have a good education, have a good job, have a good retirement, have a good death, have a good family, have a good, holidays, have a good whatever.
Yeah.
That's equal opportunity. At the moment, not all Australians have equal opportunity. Less than 3% of Australians have a marginal, have a unfair disadvantage because of colonisation and oppression and white Australia policies and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it for ages, but it's not going to change the result, and it's not going to change people's minds.
No.
And I know
it will just change the way I think Australians will now view other Australians, and Indigenous Australians will view other Australians.
It changes the way people view us in the world. So my brother...
100%, because I've actually got some things...
My brother's living in England.
that we'll talk about.
So my brother's living in England, right?
Yeah.
And his co-workers are lefties or whatever like him. And they...
lefties. We care about Indigenous people. We're lefties.
No, well, they're, left-leaning, whatever, and they came up to him.
Johnny Cash wrote songs about Indigenous issues.
Yeah. Let me finish my point, you idiot. They came up to him and they said, see, we told you. And he said, what? And they said, we told you Australians are racist. And he said, well, I'm not a racist. He said, yeah, but look at how your country just voted.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he was like, yeah, I know. And it's like, you know, like other countries see this. And like I saw like people from America like posting, like even we have fucking recognition.
Yep.
And like I saw, you know, like all these other Western countries, all these other countries that acknowledge their heritage were like, what the fuck?
Yep.
What the fuck, Australia?
So we'll hear some excerpts. One from the Washington Post. First Nation Australians deserved so much better than this. The overwhelming countrywide rejection of their recognition in the Constitution was the inevitable end to a campaign of misinformation, conspiracy theories, and racism that deliberately sought to divide a nation. With Trump-style political smears, many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander citizens will struggle to recover from this bruising fight for their basic rights. The symbolism of the referendum's failure has raised eyebrows across the globe. The New York Times describes the outcome as crushing Indigenous hopes, while the Singapore-owned Straits Times noted it would be setback for Australia standing in the Pacific, a time when some countries were looking to China and away from West nations. With a similar colonial past, including New Zealand, which entered a treaty of Waitangi and Maori in 1840, and Canada, which began its calls a modern treaty era in 1973. Yeah. Here's France. Polls have consistently shown that voters, most of whom are white, rank Indigenous issues far down on their list of political priorities. The opposition campaign had deftly channeled fears about the role effectiveness of the Voice Assembly, encouraging people to vote no if they are uncertain. The debate was, I like that, no if you are uncertain. The debate was accompanied by reams of online misinformation suggesting the Voice would lead to a land seizures, South African-style system of apartheid, or was a part of some United Nations plot.
Yeah, there was also like advertisements about how the Jewish elite of Australia are using Aboriginal people to battering ram their way into politics or something.
Disgusting.
It's just such disgusting misinformation. And like the thing I saw a lot of people saying is like there's bigger issues in Australia, like there's a cost of living issue, and it's like, okay, like yeah, the government's not doing great on that. It's also because they were handed a shit sandwich of an economy from the LNP. The world economy is not doing good. I understand that they need to do better on the cost of living. It shits me off too that it costs me fucking $4 for a loaf of bread.
But you kind of got to go.
But the thing is like this vote wasn't a what you think the big issue is. This vote wasn't a if you don't think it's a big issue, we'll table it, we'll come back to it. This was a once in a lifetime vote to change the Constitution for recognition and a voice. And if your reason for voting no was because there's bigger issues to focus on, you wasted your vote and you wasted the money of the Australian people.
You wasted, and nothing will happen.
Because if that was your whole reason, I don't understand voting no.
I don't understand voting no. There's more important things to go on.
If you say, there's bigger issues, it's like, well, okay, you can still, like the referendum's going ahead, Mary, like Mary on the street.
Yeah.
The referendum's going on ahead, all right? So if you think this is an issue, vote on it now because it's happening now.
Exactly.
Now. It's not happening in 10 years, it's happening now. Yes, there's a cost of living crisis as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is things can happen at the same time. They can introduce legislation, they can introduce all this at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not it just depresses me because I fear for my son. And I fear for like your children, and I fear for all the next generation that are going to grow up and they're going to be like, what the fuck? Or they're going to be bullied and shamed in being Indigenous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think
because I feel like the percentage of Indigenous Australians is going down because as our population goes up, their percentage goes down. They get less.
They're ashamed. I literally know people who say, I'm disgusted in my Aboriginal blood.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted in my indigenousity.
Yeah.
So basically, they don't know how to say words, but also
they're self-hating because of the rhetoric out there.
Yeah, and it's like it's like almost that this was here, that it's like that for a reason.
Yeah, it's like
It's almost like
it was indoctrinated into
it
their
was
parents and everything.
indoctrinated to your parents and then carried on. And I think the problem is the UK put it, the big winners of this campaign are racism and misinformation.
Oh yeah, 100%. Who was that backbencher for the LNP who suggested bringing in laws about misinformation for political advertisements?
That was an independent. That was an
I
independent
thought she was
MP.
an LNP.
No, she sits in the independent space. So like like that middle spot.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
camera angle, it looked like she was an LNP, but yeah,
No, she was an independent, and
Good.
it's gotten backing from a lot of independent representatives and
Labour.
Senator David Pocock, and now after this referendum, it's gaining momentum through Labor.
I wouldn't be surprised if LNP for Yes, that group of LNP went along with that.
Oh, 100%.
But the thing is like
Bridget Archer and all the other supporters of the Yes. Yeah.
But like I think the LNP would also benefit for backing it.
Yeah.
Because if they don't back it, then they're actively saying that they want to spew propaganda and false advertisement.
Exactly. Like I've seen TikToks of, obviously the story was posted on TikTok, and I've seen people say, "Oh, well, who will?" It's the same thing we said about the Nazis. Oh, who's gonna say what's in misinformation and what's not? Because Albanese lies. Albanese lies every day, and it's like, okay, what you say is a lie. Is very different from actual misinformation.
Yeah.
Because you believe that everybody is a lizard person.
Because you believe
and like
in
everybody's
lies.
a Jew and they're controlling the world doesn't mean it's misinformation.
Yeah.
Just because you're fucked in the head and you're a cooked cunt doesn't mean it's misinformation.
I don't know if
I'm talking to the people through fucking the camera, mate. I get fucking sick of it. You just hear the misinformation and you go, what the fuck are you on about?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, so basically, it's just very infuriating because you get like these cooked cunts on TikTok that go, "Oh, that's not real. Oh, that's bullshit. Oh, it's past. Get over it." Believe it or not, they're not getting over it, cunt.
No one's getting over it.
It's not over. You could have finished it.
It's over when the fat lady sings, and no fucking lady's sung yet.
No, they haven't. Believe it or not, that's the whole thing about Indigenous issues. Because the fact of it is, they're immensely disadvantaged to average Australians. What do we need to do to address this? We do these things. Oh, you have the chance to vote on these things.
You know what would have been great? A voice. That would have fixed those things.
Oh, it's like almost like someone needs to put in recommendations to just talk about this.
What do you think the voice was, bro?
What? What?
Yeah.
And I saw someone talk on Q&A about the voice and what it would have been. And then like all these cookers are commenting on this video being like, if someone explained that from the start, like I would have voted for that. They were saying that from the start. You're just fucked in the head.
Yeah. And like, I
have New Zealand citizens. Like we have a New Zealand citizen that we work with who said, I would have voted no. And it's like, why? And he said, because when I Googled it, it said it's basically the government would have been involved with it. And I was like, because it is the government. It's in the government, believe it or not. But believe it or not, it has Indigenous people in the advisory body.
Yeah.
Are you fucked in the head? And I said that to him because I got mad. And he's like, oh, but it's just what I Googled. And I was like, why is that there? And he showed me it. And I was like, why is that there? That's wrong. And this is why we need to introduce these laws.
Campaign.
This is why we need to introduce these laws about misinformation. Because like literally people are like, okay, they're all Jewish lizard people who want to control your lives and get rid of your backyard.
They're not all like that.
They want
some of them are just
eliminate your backyard, and
they want to take away your ute.
They want to make your kids gay.
Take away your ute.
They want to make them gay trans people.
Take away your ute.
Take away your ute.
That's all they care
about.
Get
rid of your backyard. That's all they care about. That's the only things they care about. It's not like they care about just fucking living.
But here's the thing: is Are all the government?
I don't know any gay person.
Here's the thing.
I don't know any gay person that doesn't
hang
care
on.
about just surviving.
Hang on. Yeah. Gay people, like women, worry about being hate crimed so much.
Or any indigenous person or any minority, believe it or not. Literally, I went on Reddit. It was like, oh, I am an Indian person and I was attacked at a McDonald's. Oh, that happened to me as well. A comment. Oh, that happened to me as well, and I'm Pakistani.
Yeah.
It's like,
I got called a curry something and got attacked.
And this person got physically attacked. And it's like, this has happened to me as well. It's like, oh, welcome. Thanks, Australia. You just basically cemented the fact that we're fucking racists.
Yeah. Going back to that point about the government being lizard people, right? Are all the government lizard people? Like, is everyone in politics a lizard person?
Apparently.
So if Peter Dutton's also a lizard person, why are they listening to the other lizard person?
Well,
is he a good lizard person?
See, this is what I don't fucking get.
This
is what I don't get. So they're like, I don't like the government. I'm going to choose this government's opinion. Okay, they don't want the voice. Here's a part of the government that doesn't want this, but they are the government. I don't trust the government, but I'm going to listen to them because they know the right thing. They just want to say my racist ideas, and this is the point. Everybody's like, not everybody that votes no is racist. Yes, they fucking are. Believe it or not, even if you're in the progressive no, you're like, oh, all these people think they know what indigenous people want. Yeah, believe it or not, because we have ears attached to our fucking heads, and we go, hey, look at that. They want to say they want an indigenous voice to parliament. Here's the indigenous voice to parliament. We're going to introduce in a referendum, so it's permanent. And these cunts, racist cunts, can't get rid of it. Believe it or not, we listen to indigenous people. You're a fucking cockhead for saying, oh, you're just projecting what you want indigenous people. No, we're listening.
What percentage of indigenous people wanted the voice?
I think it was something like 90% in one fucking electorate voted for the fucking voice. There was like the statistics, a majority of the population, which is high indigenous populations, obviously not every single part of that population is indigenous. A majority of the populations voted for the indigenous voice to parliament.
Are you talking about a certain electorate?
Certain electorates, which are majority of the population, are indigenous. So Cairns, Northern Territory, those areas which have high populations of indigenous people voted for the voice to parliament, over 60%. There was only one electorate which was below 50, and that was it.
Damn.
So at the end of the day, you're a racist cunt because you voted no. That's it.
Well,
You were either ignorant, which doesn't make you better than anybody else, because if you're ignorant to indigenous issues, believe it or not, that does make you a bit of a fucking racist.
Ignorance is bliss.
Exactly.
So, my question
makes me fucking furious.
My question is, I'm just depressed. I've been in a sad spiral since Saturday, and I don't have the luxury to feel depressed. I just fucking get mad. I am going through the stages of grief because it was kind of a simple decision that people fucked up. And like, look, Australia fucked around, and we're gonna find out in a couple of years.
Oh yeah, this episode should be titled "Andrew Gets Mad and Andrew Gets Sad."
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, we're gonna listen to some other.
Hang on.
Okay, eventually we're gonna listen to this dumb cunt.
So what I want to know about is like, what are the progressive no doing?
You want to hear about progressive no?
Yeah, I want to know what they're
You want to
doing.
hear some progressive no? We can hear some progressive.
Okay,
no.
let's hear some.
All right, let's hear progressive no. Ready?
Yeah.
Well, this is what you wanted. You wanted to shut me down. This building behind us is where it all began. In 1901, the racist constitution come out of this building. It's caused nothing but pain and misery for my people in this country.
Her people.
Her people.
She owns them.
Yep.
Nice. Let's go.
Doesn't end there.
Referendum is an act of genocide against my people.
Whoa. The referendum's genocide?
And the Prime Minister knows exactly what he's doing.
Leader Thorpe has reacted to...
Yep.
Wait. I want to hear what Anthony Albanese has to say,
You
but
sh- you
also,
sure can.
hang on. The Constitution's racist,
Yes.
and because the no vote won, it's a genocide.
Yeah, and she's like, this
But
is
wasn't
what
she-
this was after the
But
referendum.
wasn't she a no?
Yeah,
She was the progressive.
she was
no.
a progressive. No, this is what she wanted.
But she wanted no.
She wanted no.
But now she's upset because no won.
Yeah, just like mundane, but fucking like, what did she want?
It seems like she wanted to say no, and then when the voice won, she was like, "Yeah, I was totally for it the whole time."
Like, oh, I need to be a part of this.
Yeah, she said she wanted to be a part of the voice. Then don't vote no.
It's like those people, because it's like, remember Brexit back in 2000 whatever, that were like, oh, I just voted no because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I voted to leave the European Union because
It's like, just because I just thought I just didn't think we'd
it's
actually do
ignorance.
it.
It's again ignorance.
It's just fucking ignorance. Okay, well,
Anyway,
listen
I want to hear what Albanese has to say about her comments.
All right.
Video that's been posted today. She has, in the last 20 minutes, referred to the referendum as genocide. I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Look, I think people need to be respectful during this debate. It is important that people are respectful with each other.
Well, this is
So I don't really know.
I don't know what she has. She
I don't
said-
know
Has she
what-
made a statement?
I don't know what Senator Thorpe.
So, like, Senator Thorpe has said she
I
didn't want the
don't know
voice she
what
wanted.
she wants.
No, she said she didn't want the voice. She wanted a treaty. Okay, what's she doing towards treaty?
I don't know. I don't really know. Like, you just
And
you
like
see a lot of stuff,
and like
that's it.
screaming that the vote was a genocide. Was it because she didn't realize how racist Australia was? Do you think that was it?
I think so. Oh, this referendum is a genocide.
For
Yes,
what?
in a way, if you voted no,
But like,
you're just supporting the fact that you want to
what?
not support
what
Indigenous
I'm-
Australians. You want them to die. You want them to
I was so
face
worried.
circumstances that are.
I was so worried on Saturday night for like Indigenous Australians and like their mental health, and I hope they're all. I hope they're all okay.
Well, we still haven't really heard from the leadership yet, obviously, because they're
Well,
taking that week of mourning.
They took a week. They're taking a week of mourning. We're recording
Yeah.
this just before the mourning's over, so this will be out after the week of mourning as respect.
Oh, and it's kind of disgusting when you see the discourse on TikTok where a lot of people
I
are
don't
like,
go on TikTok anymore. It's full of middle-aged fucking angry white men.
"It is," but
I've talked about it so many times.
I'm
think
a young angry white man. And
How-
I need to get mad at them.
I think I've beaten the horse with like how middle-aged and young white men just like have this identity crisis, and like they can't rape women anymore. They can't be racist anymore. So what are they? It's like, bro, you got to find a hobby. Maybe instead of calling me a nerd for playing Pokemon, or you know,
Watch Fight Club. Like, you remember going to uni, and then you'd have all these film bros. They're film bros. That's their identity.
yeah, like
That was it. Like, you
like,
just
do something.
You just do something.
Or like, you
do
know,
something with your life
all the
other than be a
like-
misogynistic prick.
Or like join a union if you want better working conditions and better rights. Join the union. Have CMFEU fucking painted on your ute.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
do something other than be a misogynistic, racist piece of shit. And like I know it's so hard. I know it's so hard because there's Joe Rogan and there's Andrew Tate and there's all this bullshit, and like comedians spout the same shit as Joe Rogan because if you're not in that inner circle, then you're not a killer. You're not a comedian. And then you know, you see their clips online and then you follow them and then you see their views and all this other shit. And it's like, bro, did you know Joe Rogan's on hormone therapy? He's on TRT. He's getting testosterone replacement therapy. That is a hormone therapy. That's the same as a sex change.
It's gender affirming care.
It's gender affirming care.
Believe it or not, gender affirming care is not only just for trans people; it's also for cis people.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's...
Because
And
you
like
can get
the-
hormone therapy to fix the fact that you're balding.
Yeah, exactly. And like this crisis that like people are having, it's like, bro, like, yeah, you can call me a nerd for painting Warhammer. You can call me a nerd for playing Magic the Gathering. You can call me a nerd for playing Pokemon. You can call me a nerd for fucking loving politics and shit. But I have interests and I have an identity.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not out there screeching because they have and I'm a have not,
Yeah.
or I perceive that they have and I'm a have not. So like the perception that Indigenous people get free money and free houses and free cars and they can steal and they can do whatever they want because the government protects them.
Isn't it every Indigenous Australian hears that and goes, where?
Yeah, where's my free money?
Where's my free money?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Like,
Where is it?
yeah, it's like, it's, you know, if your identity is saying you have and I have not, I think you need to have a good hard look at yourself. And like I've said it the last couple of weeks, like
Yeah,
the male culture in Australia needs to take a U-turn. And like, you know what I loved is when they were all into Marvel films. Do you know why? Because they loved
Star Wars.
They were all so into Marvel films and it was so cool. And like our generation, I grew up being bullied in high school for being a nerd and playing video games and liking that stuff. But you know what? They all got out of high school and they all played video games and they all watched people play video games and they all did all that.
Do you think because obviously not everybody watches sports anymore?
Yeah.
Nobody sits down to watch the Bathursts. Nobody sits down, watch the rugby.
I watched the Bathurst with my dad because it's a tradition.
I think it's boring, but
And well, it's a tradition. And I watched the women's footy because it's interesting.
yeah. Nobody at work talks about it. What else are they going to talk about?
Well, they talk
They
about
talk- they're
they
gonna
talk
talk
about
about
sport, but it's always did you
minorities.
catch the game? No, but I saw the result. What the fuck? That's usually the
Yeah, and it's kind of like, what else? Why don't you talk about anything else?
and
Why don't you talk about anything else?
I
I
don't
know.
know. I'm a nerd, but
Like, I'll sit next to this guy, talk about politics in this podcast. You know what else we talk about? Pokemon.
Yeah.
We talk about a TV show that is currently out. We talk about things that interest us outside. Like, maybe we'll talk about camping, going camping. Oh, we'd like to
Yeah.
go there. Hey, we'd like to go on this holiday.
yeah, we talk and like you have to have an identity other than worrying about what other people are doing. Like I know we come on this podcast and we talk about what other people are doing because we want to talk about politics and we want to
Yeah.
talk about what's happening in the country. But like if you're just an average guy and you just feel angry because of all this stuff that other people have, it's like, why don't you have an interest? Is it because you think it's gay to paint little models? Because I tell you what, that is the most soothing and calming fucking thing I do is sitting down and painting a model. And yeah, it's extremely fucking nerdy.
I think the weirdest thing.
But who cares? I get great enjoyment out of it. It keeps me busy. It keeps my mind busy. I work with my hands. It's great. But like that's not for everyone. But like sitting down playing a video game and fucking shooting up people in GTA or something. Great. Do that.
But also, like,
have something to do.
why not just do the things that you want to do? I go hiking. You don't like going hiking because you're fat.
I'm not fat. I just don't like hiking because it's boring and I have to carry around 20 kilos of camera equipment.
Why? How about just cut one of those things out?
Well, if I'm going on a hike, I might as well take my stuff
Just
that I
take
can
your
take pictures.
Fucking phone.
Yeah, but what if there's a nice bird?
There is a nice bird. Admire it.
I can't
and then
take a
carry
picture
on
with
your
my
way.
phone of a nice bird.
You could be like, "Hey, I saw a nice bird."
The only reason we have all these cameras and stuff is
Because you got to show it off to the world.
No,
the
it's
only
'cause
reason
my-
why we have an experience.
man, I should buy that because that's great equipment. That's good equipment. Yeah, I could totally record something like that.
It's like the only reason why we do things nowadays is so that we can post it on social media later to
Well, I
say that
don't.
we did the things.
But I don't.
Did you even do it?
But I don't.
And that's the worst part because you don't post any of the pictures that you do.
I take the nice
you
picture.
take the nice pictures and you don't do anything with
I
them.
take the nice picture, I edit it. Maybe I'll show my wife, maybe I'll show my parents, maybe I'll show my friends. I'll be like, look at this nice picture of a bird I took. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. And then that's the end of it. I don't post it on social media. I'm not like, man, check out this sick photo of a bird. I want all your likes. I just, like someone the other day said, oh, you don't post on Facebook. The last post on your Facebook was someone saying happy birthday. And the year before that was someone saying happy birthday. And I'm like, yeah, because to be honest, what am I going to post on Facebook? I'm going to post my political views and then my friends and family are going to get upset and sooky. And, you know, or like I'm going to go on Facebook and go and post memes. Like, I've got other things
I
to
post
do
my
in my life.
political views and my family doesn't care because they believe in most of that stuff.
No, but like I have other things to do than live on social media.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't go on TikTok. I don't go on Facebook. I go on Instagram because I like watching the funny reels.
What are you, better than me?
Yeah. But like, and you know, like I don't even, the only thing I use Snapchat for is like guys I work with. We send each other pictures and stuff from at work, and that's it.
It's almost like you don't have a life. You just don't exist.
It's almost like I could go back to a flip phone tomorrow and I'd be fine.
You just don't exist.
If I didn't have to have a smartphone for work, I'd go back to a flip phone. Yeah, I don't exist. I don't have a social media presence. No. This podcast will have a social media presence.
It will. This will be the most social media you'll have to do. You'll have to figure it out. Do you know how to social media anymore?
I know how to social media.
Do you?
I used to social media.
Do you?
I had shitloads of followers on Instagram.
Ooh.
And yeah, like I know how to social media, but what's the point? For me personally.
I mean,
like if my friends and family want to see a picture of my son or a picture that I took, I send it to them personally because I care about them.
Yeah.
Like you get pictures of my son.
I do, and I'm like, who's that?
But I don't post them online. I'll be like, hey, Andrew, check out what this fucking idiot's doing. He's 2, and he thinks he can be a big boy.
It's because you're afraid of the Maori elite.
Yeah.
I got mad.
I'm sad.
You're sad.
You're mad. I'm sad.
I'm mad. You're sad.
And this is the Acritical podcast.
Acritical.
No one sent us any. No one sent us any emails, and no one sent us any nothings. And I think it's because we have like 5 views.
Maybe it's because we have like 1 subscriber.
Yeah.
Which is you and me.
No, I think the 1 subscriber left after The Voice.
Because he was a racist.
Probably.
He voted no.
Yeah.
He heard about combat. This is what I don't get. Okay. No, we're done.
No, keep going.
We're done.
Keep
okay,
going.
so this is what I don't get. They're anti-government.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I fucking hate Combank. I hate all these big companies. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm going to solely have my interests and political views based on what big business and big government wants. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm going to vote off of what a big business
I'm going to
me.
vote off of what Gina Reinhardt wants.
I'm going to vote off of what News Corp tells me to do.
I'm going to vote what Rupert Murdoch wants me to do. I'm going to vote what all these big companies want me to do. And you know what? I'm going to get mad at all the people that say I'm fucking stupid. Why do you think I'm not fucking stupid? You're fucking... You're closed-minded. Am I?
How am I closed-minded?
How am I closed-minded?
I love people. I saw a video and I commented on it, and he removed my comment for hate speech. But his video was, him walking and someone filming. He got like 10 views or whatever.
Yeah,
he's trying to be an influencer like us.
Yeah,
but he was Australia's spoken, voted no to this racist voice. It was only going to divide us. Yeah, it was only going to divide us and make one group of people above the other. But now that it's over, I ask Albanese, what are you doing about the cost of living crisis? Albanese, what are we doing? This was a waste of money and a waste of time. And what are you doing? And I commented and I said, obviously you're ignorant and you didn't educate yourself on The Voice if you think that it's going to cause division and a second class of people, and it was a racist voice. And, you know, they tried to get through the housing bill, which wasn't fantastic, which we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about it.
But it was something. And
it was something.
It was blocked by the LNP and the Greens several times, who you seem to agree with, the LNP. So you disagree with cost of living and housing help?
Yeah, apparently.
And then he removed my comment for hate speech.
It's hate speech.
It's hate speech, me saying that he was ignorant and pointing out the flaws in his argument. And look, I'm happy if someone comments on our podcasts and videos and points out our flaws or whatever.
They can do that if they want.
That's fine by me. The last so many episodes, I hadn't trimmed my beard.
No.
So I looked like a caveman.
But here's the thing. You can't just say that they're all elite lizard people, Jewish, gay, trans people, and say that's the reason why you're wrong.
Man,
believe it or not, someone actually has to be wrong about something.
I'm so happy that I'm not on TikTok.
For you to say they're wrong. You can't just say you're wrong because you're a liar. Why am I a liar? You need to have critical thinking skills that go beyond thinking every government is wrong. Believe it or not, most of the time, you're in agreement with some other fucking government, just like you were in agreement with the no government, with the LNP. You were in agreement with government. That was your whole thing. That's what I don't get.
Like, the thing is like, yeah, Labor's in government, but the government consists of everyone in that room. So the LNP can propose things, and Greens can propose things and everything. It's just they don't bother because they don't have a majority, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is when they were building the voice for the referendum and everything, they invited people from other parties to come and have a say.
Yeah.
And the LNP refused because their Indigenous minister kept leaving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Peter Dutton.
Peter
Dutton refused.
So
basically.
to say that it was not bipartisan is bullshit because they didn't they offered bipartisan and they didn't take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the last we will ever speak about the voice unless something comes up. Something comes up. I promise you, this is the last time we'll talk about it. Next week we won't be mad and sad. Next week we will talk about hopefully something interesting in the news.
And we won't end every single episode thus far with the voice.
I mean, if you watch half the episode and then we get to the voice part and you switch off, like, who cares?
Yeah.
You've listened to something.
You can do that.
If you listen to the intro, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Click on the video.
Get
oh
a
my
view.
gosh.
Put a comment. Put a subscribe.
Put a comment, a like. We will get on other streaming platforms eventually.
OnlyFans. Coming soon.
We'll do an OnlyFans with just our feet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just email us if you have any. It's such a sad, dull way to end it.
Just email. Send an email.
If you have opinions, if you want to criticize us, if you want to have an input, if you want to say how shit it is living at the moment in Australia because of anything, cost of living, housing, rent, pay, unions, whatever, chuck us an email, chuck us a comment, we'll address it. We've had one comment so far, and it's because I clickbaited them. I said the episode was we debate the voice when obviously we're both on the yes side. Yep. And the comment was, great episode, love the laid back attitude. Thank you. But seems like there's 2 yes votes here. It's like, yes, I gotcha. I got one.
Yep. There you go.
So if you make a comment, I'll talk about it on the show. Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. All right.
Gotcha.
Bye. You gonna say bye?
Bye.